I'm Varshit, and my topic is future changes to high impact weather in the UK. Climate change. The relationship between climate change and high impact weather events in the UK. The climate change is causing more frequent and severe weather events in the UK. The science behind climate change and its impact on high impact weather events. Current projections for future changes in high impact weather events in the UK. The relationship between the climate and the weather events in the UK is far different from the other countries. While the climate changes is causing more frequent and severe weather events, the science behind the climate change and the impact on weather events is also unknown. Current projections for future changes in the high impact weather events in the UK. Heat waves. The impact of heat waves in the UK. Potential health risks associated with heat waves. Economic consequences of heat waves. Strategies for mitigating the impact of heat waves. The heat waves commonly we can see in the coastal areas in our country, but whereas in other countries there are most sea is covered, so the heat waves might be more in the other countries. And the UK has more sea level for around its country, so it gets more heat waves. Floods. The impact of floods in the UK. Potential damage to infrastructure and homes. Cost of recovery from floods. Strategies for mitigating the impact of floods. Potential damage to infrastructure and homes. Cost of recovery from floods. Potential damage to infrastructure and homes. Cost of recovery from floods. Strategies for mitigating the impact of floods. Storms. The impact of storms in the UK. Potential damage to coastal areas. Impact on transportation. Strategies for mitigating the impact of storms. Storms. The impact of storms in the UK. Potential damage to coastal areas. Impact on transportation. Strategies for mitigating the impact of storms. Extreme cold. The impact of extreme cold in the UK. In the foreign countries, there are extreme cold. Potential health risk associated with extreme cold. Its impact on infrastructure. Strategies for mitigating the impact of extreme cold. Vulnerable populations. Vulnerable populations. Populations most vulnerable to high impact weather events in the UK. Elderly, disabled, low income communities. Strategies for protecting vulnerable populations. Populations most vulnerable to high impact weather events in the UK. Elderly, disabled, low income communities. Strategies for protecting vulnerable populations. Infrastructure. The infrastructure of high impact weather on the impact in the UK. Potential damage to roads, bridges, and buildings. Cost of repairing infrastructure. Strategies for mitigating the impact on infrastructures. The UK is well a developed country and it has high infrastructure in the world. So the impact of weather on infrastructure in the UK is more than the other countries, as well as potential damage to roads, bridges, and buildings and ornaments, cost of repairing infrastructure after all destroying it, strategies for mitigating the impact on the infrastructure. The emergency response. The importance of emergency response plans for high impact weather events in the UK. The importance of emergency response for an high impact weather events. Every country has the emergency response for the high impact weather events, like the UK does. The role of government and local authorities in emergency response. The government and the local authorities are responsible for the emergency. The importance of communication during high impact weather events. Strategies for developing effective emergency response plans. The strategies need to be implemented for the emergency response to overcome these high impact weather events. The adaptation and mitigation. The importance of adaptation and mitigation measures in response to future changes in high impact weather events in the UK. The importance of adapting to future changes in high impact weather events. Strategies for mitigating the impact of futures in high impact weather events. The role of individuals and organizations in adaptation and mitigation. The importance of adaptation and mitigation measures in response to future changes. The adaptation and mitigation measures in response to future changes in high impact weather events in the UK. The importance of adapting to future changes in high impact weather events. Strategies for mitigating the impact of future changes in high impact weather events. The role of individuals and organizations in adaptations and mitigations. The importance of adapting to future changes in high impact weather events is more important than emergency response. Strategies for mitigating the impact of future changes in high impact weather events. The role of individuals and organizations when the high impact weather in adaptation and mitigation. Technology and innovation. The role of technology and innovation is improving forecasting and response to high impact weather events in the UK. The importance of accurate forecasting for high impact weather events. The role of technology and innovation in improving forecasting and response. Examples of innovative technologies being used in the UK. They analyze the forecast by the technology and they can send the information to the government so that they can help the people who gets affected earlier. Conclusion. Preparing for future changes to high impact weather in the UK. summary of key insights from the presentation and recommendations for preparing for future changes in high impact weather in the UK. Thank you.